Hey, welcome to the Runaways podcast. My name is Cody. We are back for another week. We have Lucas back from his trip.
Yeah. Half the people are cheering, half the people are booing.
Yep. I've read all the comment section. There's about 50% of you are happy when he's gone, and 50% are happy.
For the Lucas fans out there, thank you guys. Thank you for standing by me. I appreciate it.
And all the haters out there, thank you for hating, because it was very entertaining.
A view is a view.
True. Lucas, since you just got back from your trip to Auckland, how was your trip? How did your tournaments go?
My tournaments did not go well, but I had a good time.
When you add the S, you know it's not good, right?
Yeah, exactly. In the Welcome to Wraith sealed event, I had basically 3 of my pools were just unplayable, and which is like a normal thing. My Bravo pool was pretty good. Or was playable, rather. I don't think it was very good. I was a little bit low on D-Reacts, and I only had 2 equipments. Also probably made some mistakes. I haven't played a whole lot of the format, but I went 2-3 drop pretty quickly. And then the next day in the Classic Constructed tournament, I played Gravy. I lost round 1 to Michael Jasker on Gravy as well. I think his deck was pretty well set up in the mirror, and the cards that, like the block card and the action that flip your opponent's allies face down and make a gold, were swinging his way, and I think that was a big part of why I lost. And then I also think I mismanaged my resources a bit. So we played a pretty good game, came down to the wire, but he ended up getting me. And then I won some games, and then I played against Hayden Dale from Arsenal Pass. I assume most people are familiar. And did not have a very good draw sequence. We were kind of laughing about it the whole game, but I did not make a gold till I think turn 7 or 8, somewhere around there, which is not a good strategy as Gravy. And
sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah, and he played pretty tight for most of the game, and so he ended up getting there. And then I was playing against an Ira when I was 2-2, and
I thought you won significantly more games that interim, by the way.
No,
I was expecting you to say like 5-2 or something, and you moved out to 2-2.
I went 2-3 drop twice. This was not my weekend. But I played against an Ira. Things were going great. I was drawing well. I was up 27-10 with the Chum in play and 3 allies in grave. So I think I'm chilling. You know, we're up. Surely we're 3-2. Can play some more games. Maybe make day 2. And he proceeds to resolve 3 Whirling Mist Blossoms, a Weakest Link, a Humble, and a Looking for a Scrap, all in the same turn. And he drew 7 cards. I blocked 3 cards on the Weakest Link because I had an Eye of Ophidia left in my hand. And then he humbled me at the end anyway, so kind of just got blown out there. Oops. But you live and learn sometimes that maybe when you're up, your opponent is not always out of it. So that game, I think I made some mistakes to put myself in that position. I think I got a little bit cocky, and definitely my lack of experience in the matchup showed. So I think I put myself in that position. So it was a good learning moment, but definitely not a good weekend for me. I was kind of out of it for a lot of it. My heart wasn't really in it. The venue was kind of cold and small, and like, I don't know, I wasn't super excited about either format. I didn't really want to be there.
30 hours to go do, for sure.
Alas, I was there. I made the decision, so it was okay. I had a fun time with a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of people from New Zealand that I would not get to meet otherwise. And so shout out to everybody who like was there and said hi to me. I don't want to be like a super big Debbie Downer, but obviously, you know, it was definitely not my weekend, but I still had a good time. So
I'm stuck on I'm not really into these formats. Fly halfway across the world to play it. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Ooh, all my money.
Yeah. Oops.
So I heard we're doing a tier list tonight, right? Are we doing the ranking the Runaways tier list? Lucas definitely gets bumped down quite a bit on the tier list, right?
Flies out to tournament he doesn't want to play in. Proceeds to do poorly. Mad he played in the tournament. Definitely lower tier.
Oops.
We are doing a tier list today. KC tier list is what we're going to name it as. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask Noah, how's your week been? You've been
What's
prepping?
shaking?
Yep. What's up?
Basically, what I've been doing is the gravy punching bag of just like all my games have been either playing into complete random decks on Talishar when I want to just like play Fab myself, and then people messaging me on Discord, hey, be my opponent. I want to play gravy into you. And then I just am sat there for hours playing gravy and watching them agonize over plays where I just like have the most simple lines possible. But it's been good. Like I definitely can't complain about reps in that matchup. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for KC. It's like kind of weird. I don't usually just auto lock in a deck for an upcoming event. Like usually I'll at least think about changing decks from tournament to tournament, but I like don't see a reason to swap my CC deck. CC wasn't really the problem in Singapore. The format hasn't changed that much, and I think my list was like pretty good. Maybe change just a few cards. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped to play in another big tournament.
I mean, you looked so content on your side of the board that I might just join you and not play gravy at KC. So,
Dude, I was chilling. I was eating popcorn, sitting back in my chair.
I was like, man, I
drinking a
miss
glass of
I
wine.
miss chilling and just winning games. Maybe
Oh,
I
it was
should
great, man.
maybe I should stop stop thinking so much.
Agree, yeah.
And then we look at like Auckland and we see what top eight's there, and it's just like every deck's just anti-gravy deck for the most part, and it's like, maybe I don't play gravy this weekend. So
It's like
I'm bringing
you basically
gravy
play-
and I'm bringing Slippy, and I'm just going to decide which deck I'm playing.
you play your anti-gravy deck, and then all the other matchups you just like play Fab, and if you can just know how to play Fab, then you can win those too.
Fino,
Proceed, sorry.
I was gonna say, Fino, how's your week been? I know you've been streaming. I've been trying to tune in when I can, but how's everything going?
Screaming
Yeah,
at
it's been enjoyable streaming gravy. I'm kind of liking pivoting into just streaming instead. It's pretty fun engaging with the community and just kind of interacting, doing kind of an AMA style. Been catching up on all the games from the calling that had to do with gravy, watching some of the AGE gravy games, basically just focusing on the gravy games or any games that chat tells me is interesting to watch, and just like learning how to play the deck. I'm just like in full prep for Worlds mode right now because I'm not going to KC. Learned some new heuristics, started working on the guide for the deck that should be coming out hopefully sometime in the next month. Yeah, that's about it. Just been playing lots of gravy.
Yeah,
I said this on stream. This is blasphemy. Gravy might end up being my actual all-time favorite deck in Fab, more than Prism. That felt
OG
so dirty
Prism?
when I had that thought. Yeah, that felt so dirty when I had that thought, and I'm like, man, I love this deck. It's so fun.
I don't have that feeling over Chain. Chain is still always number one, but I do like the deck quite a lot. Like me deciding not to play it at KC has nothing to do with how I feel about the deck, and everything to do with like I don't think I'm there yet, and I actually want to try and win the tournament. I don't just want to go like get reps. I want to like see if I can win the tournament.
Yeah, practice.
That's one of the main reasons I didn't want to go to the event, because I'm like, I am not ready yet with gravy, and I don't have a backup deck that I'm like ready to play. So it's just kind of a waste of money going.
Yeah, it feels like if I take the gravy deck and play it, I'm putting more emphasis on getting lucky to like get there. I could definitely like if luck breaks my way a little bit more, then I can 100% win the tournament on gravy, I feel like personally, but I need more of the luck in order for that to happen. And I feel like if I take just like Slippy, then I can just make good decisions all day because I've played a lot of this deck already and try and, win the tournament.
Okay, I had a thought, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been waiting I thought of this last week, but I wasn't on last week. That I realized why Hamilton is really good with some decks. I figured out like his specialization. I think we've talked about this before, that like he's actually a specialist. I think his specialization is when your deck casts blue cards. Like he did really well with like Icelander, with New, and now with Gravy. So
his specialization is like, I feel like it's the disruptive blue deck that blocks.
Yeah.
I feel like Gravy is actually kind of off brand for him.
but he's been killing like every event with Gravy, I feel.
Well, of course, but I mean, I'm not saying he can't step out of his comfort zone. Clearly,
I don't know
I
if it's so much as a specialization as a observation of just, wait, these are just the best decks ever in Fab. I should just play this.
Yeah.
Decks casting their blues are probably the best decks, and then he's one of the best players.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
1+1.
Lucas, do you have anything else you want to talk about with Auckland? in your whole
Am I
trip.
supposed to?
I don't know. You have been going on tangents, and I didn't know if you had saved anything for the podcast, or was all that just secret talks for the team?
I miss these tangents.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
You said you had a story before the pod. You're like, no, I'll save it for the
No,
pod.
that wasn't
Now
even-
you're
And
following us
then you
live.
literally don't tell the
Yeah,
story.
that was just a game. That was just the Ira game.
Oh,
You already
that
told
was
that.
an
I already
exciting
heard that
story
story. Oh,
now?
Cool. There you go, you heard it again.
now I
That
feel
was your
baited.
highlight.
Okay, well, with
No, I
that said,
didn't-
let's just go to the tier list.
Yeah,
That's
I-
why
I-
everyone's
I-
here anyway.
Weekend, dude.
The 50% that hate him just swayed way further.
No, they're gonna love me because I shut up.
We just added 3 more people. 1, 2, 3.
Nice. We got to get like a hotkey that can like gray out someone if they're like in timeout. You know.
Perfect. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
We have our tier list.
I have gray hair from how long it took us to name these tiers.
Yeah, mainly just Lucas complaining about everything because he's a hungry boy and hasn't had any food yet.
That's true.
I think we should have done a tier list for the different tier list names, but
Also, it looks like
that was
Lucas's mic has entered the picture. I don't know if we crop that out, and this is just our first time seeing it, but we have a guest star.
Oh man.
Okay, so we have a tier list here. It's going to be a little different than the other tier lists that we've done previously. This is basically just for KC. We're going to do it as like attempting to win the event is essentially what we have for our tiers. So for the people who are listening, we have win the event as the like the S tier type top of the group. Then we have could top 8. Then we have please don't play, which are the decks that you really don't want people to play and run into. Specialist decks. So if you're really good at it, then you could top the don't play and then an F tier. So any questions from the peanut gallery on the tier list before we do the tier list?
No sir.
Yeah, we've added the please don't play as like popular demand. I feel like I talk about it every time of like the, you know, war crime terrorism decks that just like aren't going to win the tournament, but they're going to knock me out and just high roll people.
Well,
So
they
that's
could
probably
win
to
the
play
tournament.
against decks.
You're just like praying every time you play.
True.
Like if you play hard enough and you win hard enough, like you can win.
Yeah.
It continues to happen.
Sure. Shall we do the age-old tradition of hammering a bunch of things in the don't play list so we don't have to talk about them?
I would love to. I'd love nothing more.
Great. You just shout out a thing like
Right.
original
Hello.
Arachne, and I'll put that in the
Yeah.
don't play.
Azalea don't play for sure.
Betsy.
Betsy, don't play.
Tekla Vossen.
Put these LL
Looking
heroes in
for
F
him.
tier.
Looking for him.
No, they
Tekla
belong in the
Vossen.
don't play. You should not play them.
So Cody, one way to help it go faster is you notice they're actually sorted alphabetically. So if you know your ABCs, you'll be able to see where the heroes
I
are.
don't
Max
know
in
my
there, put
ABCs.
Max in there.
I'm putting
put
Max in
Leah
there. I was just trying to go in
Put
order
Reinar in there.
down the line
Put
to put them all
Riptide
in there.
You see, Noah, this is a math focused game, and you should know that card game players can't read. So why would they have any literacy skills at all?
Riptide. Put the man in don't play. Vincent, put that shit in don't play.
No. Riptide's not don't play.
Yeah, I don't think Vincent,
You're trolling.
Riptide or Vincent don't play.
Yeah, come on.
I think they're easily specialists.
Also,
that
wait.
can win.
Before we move forward past Teklo too, for some reason there's been like a resurgence in Teklo. There's like one person, I always forget the channel names, I'm sorry, but they have really nice like quality Teklo like Talishar replays. I don't know, they got like the nice ASMR mic going that I've been enjoying watching, like 9 pummel Teklo or something. So at least there's people who like playing Teklo, but yeah, still in the don't play category someday.
Okay, what about Marlon?
I think Marlins also don't play.
Levia?
Yeah, it's don't
Olivia's
play.
for sure don't play. Yeah.
Often?
Probably.
Yeah, it hasn't done enough to warrant not being in that spot.
Yeah, Dory, I feel like. I don't know. You guys couldn't.
No,
Dory
Dory's
can play.
definitely
Dory has legs.
definitely a play.
I know.
She has legs that give +1 value every turn.
That's true.
She doesn't run them, but she could.
No,
Okay,
Dory's
cool.
not bad. Okay,
I think we can actually talk about stuff now.
sure.
Cool. Do we want to start with Bravo into the F tier?
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Moving on.
Yep. Moving on. Let's start with the deck that's probably going to win the event or should win the event. I think we all can agree on what that deck is.
He's so powerful.
Slippy.
He even gets a text box in his picture.
Yeah, slips
Yep.
through the cracks.
If people don't know, we're putting Slippy up, win the tier. It's like the most played deck. It has a great matchups against everything. For the most part, it's an assassin. Its ability to close out the game is ridiculous. It's been everywhere. It hasn't I don't think it's closed out a tournament yet, but it's like always in the top 8.
It's always one of the more represented decks in the top 8. Yeah, there's always 2 or 3.
Yep.
I mean, that could mean it moves down to the could top 8 because it's going to guarantee top 8, but maybe not convert to a win.
I feel like it's just clearly the deck to beat, right? It's like there's no glaring holes, and people just keep doing well with it. Yeah, it just feels like a clean S tier deck right now.
It's funny.
Maybe the S tier is will top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah. I guess that's probably going to be more accurate than win the event, but win the event is like eye catching, It's like this is our prediction to win because I don't think there'll be many people joining him up there. So,
yeah.
1 second though, Cody, I wanted to dive in deeper of what you said.
Yeah,
I hadn't really crystallized this like concept of it's so easy to close out games because I've just been playing this deck for a while. It's kind of like I don't even think about closing out the game. It just eventually I'll react over and kill them, or I'll dagger them and flick them and kill them. But yeah, that's like pretty real. Like when I play other decks, it's like something that's constantly in the back of my mind of how am I winning this game? Like how am I eventually going to close it out? With Slippy, it just kind of like happens. I feel you don't have to put as much energy into it.
Yeah, like
I mean, go ahead.
Like Gravy Bone's probably one of the other decks we're going to talk about soon. You got to jump through some hoops to actually close the game in that deck. I've seen a lot of games where like people pull really far ahead, clear they should win this game, and then they just kind of don't actually connect with for damage for a while, and then just like oops, get fatigued.
Yep. I mean, if you're against Slippy and you go like sub 10 health, you just like never play the game again because every action can be a problem. Every ghost card in their hand can just kill you at any time. Like there's no like proper way to play the game anymore. Like once you get too low against Slippy, and other decks don't have that issue. Cool. Next, what do we want to do? Let's do some of these. Yeah, we can.
It's probably the next like big deck to talk about, right? Like Gravy and Slippy are like 2 of the biggest warping decks of the meta.
So I wasn't here for the pre-Singapore tier list, but I did not allow the Gravy was an A tier hero back then. I think Gravy was an S tier hero back then, but I think that the argument of I think he's clearly format warping, and so I think now he goes into this kind of A tier role where now that the meta has kind of consolidated to only decks that can beat Gravy. Obviously, he's not as strong now, but I think he's clearly still one of the better decks. But I do think that just like since the meta is so warped around him, he's no longer in that spot where he just like beats half the decks and plays into the other half.
There is a difference between a Pro Tour and a random calling in the middle of the US though, where you can't always trust people to be in their right state of mind and bring decks that are good into Gravy. There will certainly be people who just like bring Guardian and sack Gravy. I can't think of any content creators who would do something like this, but yeah, certainly there'll be people with Victor at the tournament.
Who knows? Maybe Victor actually beats Gravy sometimes.
You're also gonna just have like less of the best players in the world at this event, and Gravy has really shown that it's like it has exploitable weaknesses. But in the hands of the best players in the world, they can make it look like he doesn't have any of those weaknesses.
What if Gravy is in Please Don't Play tier?
I was thinking about that.
Gravy is like he's on the edge of Please Don't Play. I think he's not quite in Please Don't Play because you don't just explode on like turn 3 or 4. At least like you get to play some amount of card game. Even if it's a little bit doomed from the start, you at least like get the sensation of playing out a lot of cards. So you're at least like trying.
He's also like less cringe to play against than the other decks that are probably gonna be in the Please Don't Play, because that's the like I don't want to sit down across from this because shit's just gonna happen.
Also, there's actively a whole handful of decks that are trying to farm him.
Yeah.
So usually you're not trying to farm anything that's in Please Don't Play.
And usually when you're farming a hero, the decks in Please Don't Play are like unfarmable. Like Prism is probably the only deck that you could say like farms Kano. Other decks can have really good matchups into you, but if you just die on literally turn 1, you don't have a good matchup into it in that one instance of the one time you played them. Whereas Gravy, I mean, he can make some really good setups. Like you could cast Chum Humperdinck turn 0, right? But it's not like your opponent literally gets reduced to 0. They at least like you could brick on subsequent turns. You could like play some game.
Yeah, I think for this tournament specifically, we're either going to have like an abundance of gravy show up, but if we're looking at recent results, he might be on a little bit of a downtick, but all of his counters are kind of like on a massive uptick. If you look at Auckland, like that top 8 was just littered with anti-gravy decks. And that's just like not something you want to play multiple rounds. Like, yeah, you can handle if you play some hate decks, just like straight hate decks for gravy, like, and you can handle them or fine, or you can even split games with them, but you can't do every round as a hate deck and like expect your tournament to go well. And that, is a concern once you get like day 2, and day 2 is just like the Acilios and the Iras and the Fangs and the Dios, and like you're just like, you can't play too many of these matchups to have a good tournament. Cool. Anything else on gravy?
No, I think he'll be bottom of this tier. Not like maybe dead bottom, but I think he'll be on the lower end of it personally.
Yeah. You already talked about Kano a bit.
He's like
so
the epitome of
don't
play. Don't play tier.
Yeah,
he's
been here started at all.
Inception. He's been here since Arcane Rising.
Yeah, had a good showing in Auckland. Actually, had a lot of people turn out to play Kano as well. Would not be surprised if a bunch of Kanos show up. It's just
it probably
do they get the right matchups and stuff?
It probably has a pretty good gravy matchup, right?
Not in my experience, but that could change at any time.
Probably depends on the gravy list as well.
With the amount of blues, and if you're actually playing all the arcane barrier and you just like set up like a dude, you just like win off one dude and then you just hold blues indefinitely to like pitch. It's like that's how the game plan's gone every time I've played it.
Gotcha.
It just Kano, like if they kill you on turn 1, they kill you on turn 1.
Yeah. If you put any hate in it at all for Kano, then it becomes significantly easier as well.
Well, on Kano, what about Acilio? Kind of similar vein.
I think Acilio is just good.
Acilio is very different. I
think he's A tier, the top A tier person.
Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily in the please don't play anymore because of the fact that like Slippy is a deck that can disrupt at least one card out of your hand every single turn, and I think Acilio on a 4-card hand is much less scary, or even 5-card hand if it's not like Sigil of Brilliance making it a 6-card hand.
I mean, Acilio is just very disruptible, right? Like the please don't play tier is like decks like Kano and Dio that are like harder to disrupt. Like Acilio is very easy. I would put him in the good top 8 tier personally. I think he's just
bad.
I feel like he has all the qualities of a please don't play, but is able to punch above that weight class and actually hang with the decks that can top, and kind of has positive matchups into some of these decks.
Yeah,
I have like a weird thing with Acilio though. Like I agree with everything you guys have said. If you're really good at the deck,
yeah, it's specialist for sure.
Like my thing is like a specialist with this scares me almost no matter what deck I'm on. It's very hard matchup, but like the average Acilio is terrible. Like you just run them over with most decks. I just beat them with gravy all day. Like, but the actual good Acilios are like really, really scary to play against. But how many of those exist is like very, very few. And it's why you see mixed results. If Acilio tops 8, I wouldn't be surprised. But most Acilios aren't going to do much on the deck, in my opinion. That's why I think it's a specialist deck that like can easily top 8 if the right specialists show up.
Yeah, I agree. You don't agree, Lucas?
I think he's close. I think the way that we have our tiers set up, this makes sense to go here.
I don't think anybody's gonna pick up Acilio in the past like month or two and then play it. It's gonna be someone who's like been hardcore.
I think with how our tier list is built, this makes sense. But
yeah, like if we were doing the traditional tier list setup,
I think he's
probably like A.
I think he's very good.
Yeah, I would put him in A tier. Like the specialist is playing him, I put him in A tier. Is how for people who are like listening and want to quantify that. But for the way that we have our tier list set up, this is like if you're a specialist on this deck, you can do well.
Yeah.
You're not don't play, you're not F, you're not please don't play where like you're just trying to ruin people's tournament, but most of the time you're just going to lose. Like if you know this deck, you can top 8 with this. Is how I feel about how the specialist tier works so we can
another thing about Acilio too is he does have because of the fact he can discard instants, he does have the ability to play some like cheeky instant tech cards like Snag.
Yeah.
Not really many other decks can play like 2 to 3 copies of Snag without fear, but he can just discard. So that's like pretty good. And then you have like the ability to shock Gravy's 1 power allies. I mean, you catch someone off guard with that one time and make them like IP3, you can just win the game. So yeah, he definitely favors people who haven't played into him as much too. So that lends to the specialist who's played 50 times as many games into you as you have into them.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's grab maybe someone else like an Ira. Ira has been showing up a lot more. People have been playing it. People have, I think, better lists of this deck than they had previously. As I think all the stats on this have really shot up. What do we think? Where are we thinking for Ira?
I mean, with how we have the setup, it just has to be in the good top 8 tier, right? Like
That's how I feel.
This deck's good.
Yeah.
I think this deck is also probably towards the lower end of this tier because I think it's kind of just medium into most things. But I mean, it's clearly a good deck. You have pretty good game into Gravy. You also have one issue that Ira has a lot of the time is that she can't really like blow people out. She can't like high roll, but into Gravy you actually can because you have some crazy turns, obviously, with Whirling Mist Blossom and even bigger than that and stuff like that.
So I think what has made Ira better is all of these decks that have been creeping up to try and beat Gravy. All the Gravy decks, they just like roll over to the disruption that Ira is just packing, infinite disruption. Like all of the disruption cards are good into Acilio, for example. Like if you're playing all of them. Like, and that's how I feel about a lot of these decks that have been creeping up to try and beat Gravy. So you're like also in that good spot. Her, in my opinion, one of her harder matchups is Slippy. In a lot of cases. I think that matchup is like one of the tough parts because you're kind of flipping coins quite often in that one from the Ira matchup. But like Acilio, I think is okay. It's fine.
It just feels like you're the weaker assassin there, right?
Yeah, but you're more. You're like I think more consistent. You have more disruption.
You do more like raw damage on average as well.
Yeah,
but you don't have the funny cards. Like you don't have Codex and shit. Like you don't have Kiss of Death and all these like and your ability to just like you were saying before, closing the game is such a triviality when you're playing assassin.
Well, it's
you actually have to kill your opponent.
I actually think the closing the game thing is something that Ira also is good at for a lot of the similar reasons, especially like the versions with Flick Knives, where like even though it's not in the same way as something like Slippy does, where Ira it's like okay, once you get below 10 health, every turn you have to block with multiple cards, and you're just gonna get Kadachi to death, and like we're gonna keep trading and trading. You'll like once you have to start blocking, like. It's so much easier for me to prevent me from dying than it is you prevent you from dying.
I think that's like kind of true, but also not true. If you said like sub 10, I think you really have to be like sub 5 for that to be real. Because they can just have hands that are like Kadachi 2. Okay,
I think it's just that once you're like sub 10, you have to block the like 6s and 7s because otherwise then you're just like in range for like you can, go to 1, kill you if the Ira's at like 3 and you can get through that, but it's not one of those decks where like you can stall out a little bit like something like Gravy.
Your range though is lower or higher than it is as an assassin. Like the kill range.
Yes, but you're also more consistent at killing them once they get low, right? So it's a bit of a trade off. Like once like Slippy, once your opponent's at 2, like sometimes you have like once you block your Flick Knives and like you.
No, but
you play
when my opponent's at 2 and I'm Slippy, I attack for 3. They have to block for 6.
Well, no. What I was
Ira attack for 6.
What I was about to say is that sometimes people have defense reactions, and Ira is a lot.
Yeah, we're talking about the late game. Like sure, if you have Sync on turn 18, you're a gamer. But
if it's a fatigue match, sure. It just depends on the matchup. It's just like a fundamentally different thing. Like Ira is better.
That would be good against either deck.
Huh?
That would be good against either deck, though.
No, but I'm saying like you're at
that late in the game.
You're at like 2 or 3. Ira's a lot better at closing the game out with Kadachis than Slippy is with head jabs. Like Ira doesn't lose her weapons as the game goes on.
But who actually plays like that many D-Reacts?
A lot of people I feel like are gonna potentially move towards it. Obviously, right now it's not necessarily everyone, but we're talking about this like Slippy versus Ira matchup. Like people are gonna have a bunch of D-Reacts. Ira has a bunch of D-Reacts. Like that's a bunch of the end games with Ira and Slippy is like okay, Ira still has 4 D-Reacts left because she's playing like 12 and 2 snags, and Slippy doesn't have 18 shelters in his deck.
Yeah. You are correct. That would be illegal.
Mm-hmm. I also thought the Iras were more on the other weapon.
No one plays Naive style. Everyone plays Kadachi.
It's pretty, yeah.
If you're trying to win, at least, like you should be playing the Kadachi build.
Okay.
Yeah. I have Syndra here.
Dude, what is Syndra? Is this even a deck anymore?
No, this is.
I want to put this in. Please don't play.
No,
I want to put it in. Please.
I think this deck's good. I don't know. I think it's like your Slippy matchup is rough, but you are just so consistent against so many decks, and your Gravy matchup is obviously pretty good.
I think this is a deck that will not win the tournament, but will ruin other people's days because they just like
It's just
Syndra off on
it
somebody.
just like can't be.
and it's rather annoying
because like it's just like such a consistent aggro deck. Like
I think it could top 8. Remember, this is just a calling, right? Like,
yeah, like it's just a good aggro deck that's better than all of the other aggro decks. If you just want to,
I don't know.
consistent.
It hasn't shown up anywhere and done anything.
It's
in so
Syndra,
long.
dude. Syndra's like I feel like it's the 2025 Bravo. It's just like not good. Every time you think, okay, it should be decent, and like it does. It it has like the dead cat bounce, but it doesn't actually like. It's not a good deck. It didn't transform into a good deck.
It beats Gravy. Okay, that's
Yeah,
you
cool.
can say that. It's official. It's 40. It has 60% in the Gravy, just straight stats, and then that's it. It's just like batted to everything else.
I mean, might be good enough. Just like farm the gravies. That's probably going to have a big uptick.
That's why I said it's in Please Don't Play. It's just like a really annoying deck to exist.
If you are a
Like-
Gravy player, you probably think of it as Please Don't Play. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
But it's
anyone
also-
else
I just
is
don't
seeing
think
it
it's
that way.
nearly high variance enough to be like, please don't play.
Yeah, it's not.
Like this is just not what the
Sure.
tier is for. Like you're just
Then
transforming it
don't.
into be.
Then it's Don't Play.
No, then you put it in this. No, it just should be in good top 8. Like it's just utterly ridiculous. I feel like to put it anywhere else. Like
Do we
it's
need another tier for like some like defined
no,
as
it's
something?
Syndra
that's what
tier?
the good top 8 tier is. It's for good decks. Like it's a good deck. It has good matchup.
Wait, no, wait.
I just
We need another tier. We got to.
I think we need another tier.
We need a tier of like average Joe deck, just like whatever,
I miss
just
Joe.
showing up to work, clicking your threes and clicking your flicks.
Yeah, that's what the good top 8 tier is for, man. It's big. It's not A tier.
I don't know where to put this thing.
No, you need to make a new tier, man. It's okay. The people will forgive us. Edit it in real time.
What about
Let's get
will
amazing
top
stuff.
8? Wait. What about will top 8? Could top 8?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Disaster. Oh man.
What do you mean disaster strike? It's not like Cody's been frozen for the past 2 minutes.
Yeah, no,
What?
it's okay.
I have been.
Yeah, your
frozen.
camera's frozen.
It's okay.
Nice.
People are getting some behind the scenes footage this episode.
good.
That's all right.
Okay, we have resolved one, my camera, and two, we have resolved. We have a will top 8 tier and a could top 8 tier
Mhm.
for those decks that we're just not sure about, or aren't as good as the decks that will top 8.
Yeah.
So Syndra can go into could. Do we still want Ira in could or
Yeah,
will?
I think Ira's like top of this tier.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't really know who's gonna play Ira. Like I just
Like,
don't
I
think
won't
she'll
be
have high
surprised.
representation.
I think Ira's good. I think good players know that Ira is good as well.
I just don't think she'll have high representation. Like, how big is this tournament going to be? Like 300 people max?
I also just like won't be surprised if she doesn't top 8.
Yeah.
I'll just say, oh, that makes sense.
Sure,
Yeah, that's why
I
she's
think
good.
that.
We agree.
No matter what happens with Ira, I'll say that makes sense.
Can we get KO out of into don't play
Yeah,
tier?
this is
Oh, yeah,
chaos.
Dude, brutes are eating bad.
Wait, is that the please don't play list because of Scabskins?
No, he's
Ju-
not
just
nearly-
Scabskins?
Bro, you can
you can roll a
hold
6
scabs all
every
you want.
turn, and I'll still let you play it.
Yeah, I
Fi
don't think
Fi
that's
is
good,
also
but
going into the don't play
Yeah.
tier.
Whoa,
So
whoa,
we-
whoa! Fi can go.
don't manifest that scab stuff. Please don't click the scabs, please. I have a family.
All right. What about Mario?
I think Mario is in will top 8 tier.
Mar-
It's
okay.
it's
Mario
that
is
strong.
like it's like how you feel about Syndra.
It absolutely is specialist. It's like top of specialist.
But I'm saying
I agree.
you're just there to farm Slippy, and that's what you're doing.
I don't know. It's been like favored into gravy at several.
The
Major
data
tournaments.
says that it's like the best deck in the game.
Yeah, all the data says it's the best deck in the game.
It should be top of specialist. It's the same as Cecilio. It's just like a really good deck that nobody pilots.
Except it's
properly.
stronger. I agree, but it's way stronger than Acilio. IMO.
And that's why he goes to the left.
Indeed.
And by left,
Like this would almost be a whole nother tier. Like specialist, but I'm playing an actual good deck.
Just bump specialist up. Just move it up.
Specialist, but also my deck's good. Like a specialist plus.
are we
that
making
would-
another cut, man? We're gonna start scrolling the tier list. It's gonna be that big.
Can we put Valda in don't play?
No, Volta's not.
Let's just talk about all the Guardians, like what they actually
Yeah.
got out of the set.
So wait, we were resolving Mario as specialist.
Yeah, of course. It's a good specialist, but that's where it belongs.
Okay.
Because nobody's
I
gonna
am-
show up.
IMO for the people listening, it's like specialist plus. It's like the deck is good, and if you're a specialist, you're probably going to win the tournament.
Win the tournament is wild, but okay.
It'll be in
I
the
mean,
Dan will top 8 with it tier.
It's just
Oh,
all the data says that Mario is the best deck in the game. Like just
so
he
when
just
Mario
hasn't
doesn't,
done anything yet.
so wait, when Mario doesn't win, does that mean the data is bad and we shouldn't trust it?
Maybe, or we haven't played enough tournaments for the data to
Just nobody's
unravel
playing
itself
Mario.
properly.
Stop convincing people to do it. Come on, man. I'm just trying to flip through some facts over here.
Wait. It sounds like Noah thinks it should be in the please don't play tier list if he's trying to convince
That's what I was trying to say earlier. That it's how Cody feels about Syndra. It's please don't play into me.
Yeah, true.
But like objectively, it's fine.
Yeah, let's do Guardian. Let's start with Jarl and why he's in don't play.
Well, do we want to just talk about like what Guardian got out of the set, which could be nothing, could be very little, could be a lot.
Like
they got a whole new hero, kinda.
Yeah, Jarl got one of the best new cards, the Marvel version.
Oh,
yeah. You can now style on your opponents.
Yeah. I mean, Jarl got like basically nothing, right? Like there's almost no new cards for him, and he's kind of just not very impressive. Like he just doesn't have very many good cards, or almost any good cards, other than Felling, and that's it. He just like doesn't. His equipment it blocks for a lot, and he has Stalagmite, but
you got a new blue. You got the one that's like Dissolve Reality. That's like probably reasonable.
And that card's just not. I don't think
it's
actually.
Dissolve Reality. You don't get to ponder yourself.
Yeah, that card's just not good.
It's a strict neg one.
Yeah, people thinking that card's good online are just like it's good because it's like a blue that you can play.
The card is good in exactly Earthlore Bounty Valda, where when you cast it, you get 3 surges out of it. So it's like, then it's fine because it's replacing itself as a blue that gives you 3 surges. But when you don't have Valda hero power or Earthlore Bounty, it's unplayable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
you're basically just there to farm gravy though, like with this deck, and it doesn't.
I don't even think you're
do that good of a job.
Yeah,
it's like not even good at its niche.
Yeah.
And if you want to construct your deck to be good into Gravy and Slippy, I don't think you can do that in 80 cards. Mm-hmm. Because like into Slippy you want all the D-reacts, but then into Gravy you want like ways to resolve killing their compass and then eventually
I still think you actually want all the D-reacts into Gravy, but
I don't think all the most D-reacts are not blue. So like how are you actually resolving killing their compass?
It's just like you just don't need that many, right? You just need to resolve a crumble and then play a frozen breath. Like it's not that deep.
Well, there is a deck that kills the compass way easier.
Yeah, it's Valda.
It's Valda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This deck is like pretty sweet. I don't know if you haven't played against it or played it or like watched it. It's just like it's pretty sweet.
It's just kind of I think not that good into Slippy and Syndra. And
it's really good into those decks, but it's really bad at doing 40 damage to them. It's pretty good at doing like 25-ish damage. And then you just like do the Guardian thing of drawing hands that don't function and then giving back all the tempo. And by that point, you're out of armor. And then you just kind of, the dream dies.
Isn't it even good into anything else, really?
Gravy,
it hasn't been long enough to really say as well. Like there could be better builds of the Valda deck that actually work in some of these matchups.
I just haven't seen any of it that's impressive into a meta at all. Like there's a few lists that I've seen that are like maybe good in a matchup, but I think it's in don't play.
I think the other thing too is you turned your deck from Guardian, which is like the most simple strategy usually of just I pitch my blues, I throw my big red attack, or I block and throw my hammer. And now you're adding in like a Runeblade-esque variance of I have to draw these cards that make seismic surges together. I have to like actually care about arsenaling important cards that I get like value out of my seismics. I think it's for right now it's don't play, but next BNR they ban Chum.
It's don't play, but like I also wouldn't be surprised if someone just like breaks something with her.
It's Runeblade-esque in that like vein of when your cards work really well and synergize together, it does like super crazy stuff. So,
yeah. Now to talk about, and no one's ever heard me say this, a Guardian that is actually good right now. I actually think Victor is legitimately a good deck right now.
Yeah.
From all the things that I got.
Best of Iron Grip is just completely ignorant into Slippy. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah. It's such a stupid card.
Yeah, if no one saw, Yuanji actually just posted his list on Twitter the other day. He's been working on this deck for a while, and when he realized no one on the team was interested in it, he just posted his list, and he's been doing some good stuff with it. It's a pretty interesting, like, I sometimes play as a fatigue deck, I sometimes play as a value deck. It just plays good fab.
Yeah, and it has decent results into Gravy. That's the actual convincing part, is like, it actually just has been flipping games quite often with Gravy, which is pretty impressive. I think.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and unlike Valda, you have like power cards because you have the clash cards. And I feel like Valda she is very reliant on her cards working together, but Victor's a lot better at like reacting with powerful cards.
But
Kind of
yeah,
like
Victor's much more traditional Guardian. Just your cards do the thing. They block for 3 and they attack for a big number.
Yeah.
It also has good matchups in the meta.
Yeah.
For even like the old Victor before the new cards actually had good matchups in the meta, and now it has like good matchups in the meta with better cards that now can kind of compete everywhere that's not a wizard.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely could top 8 for me. I think this deck's actually good.
I think it's also hits that button of like easy to close out the game. Like if you're at 10-ish or less, you just always have to be scared of Golden Sun Pummel or playing the specialization Goldmane Estate into Golden Sun. Like the Golden Sun is just like a very, very simple. My face is on the art. I win the game.
I think sometimes he struggles to close the game. It's like if you can get to that point in the game that you just described and you're still at a health total that you can keep cards, then yeah, you get to do that and it closes the game. But once you start getting to the point that we both have to start blocking a lot, his small hands can struggle to actually close the game. Or like he's just going to throw a big attack.
I think
they just block it. No progress really happens.
I think the real reason that Victor is good at closing out games is because he fatigues so many people. Like he just like when you're winning a fatigue game, there's just no guesswork. Like you just block and they die. Like obviously, like you have to like actually get them to that state, but there's no like I'm not able to my opponent stalls the game out and they win. Like if they stall the game out, they'll just fatigue. It's fine.
Yeah, because also he's the Guardian that plays all the big blue attacks. So
yeah,
his cards are demanding 3 cards from the opponent versus one of his.
Yeah,
so just like
do you get to the end game and still get to hold cards?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but people like forget what it's like to play with such a fridge that he has. Like if you look at all the decks up here, they have bad fridges.
Yeah,
like, they're attempting to have a real fridge, and then you play with him, and he has everything blocks for 2 to 3,
when
and he has a shield.
When there's a certain arm piece in the game that people rely on farming their little tokeny items from, and he just says you can literally never hit with this in the whole game, it's pretty good.
Yep. And then he has D-Reacts on top of block 4s in his deck that have additional text on it. It's just like, it's like really hard to push through.
Yeah. It actually is pretty relevant too. You talk about the arm piece. We're in a meta now with a lot of Slippy that the Victor arms, the legendary Guardian arms, like actually have text. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, yeah, they lower a reaction by 1.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I would not be surprised if Victor top 8s if enough people are able to put it together.
If you like, if in theory, right, you're pretty good into the field. You play into 1 Verdant Cercano, like 1 wizard, because you're probably fine into a Cilio, but you play into 1 Verdant Cercano, and you play into 2 Gravies and juice one of them. There you go. There's your top 8.
Yep.
So it could definitely happen.
Agreed. Okay, let's hammer some of these out. I think Riptide is a specialist hero. I have seen some people with cool builds that are confident enough to bring it to tournaments. It hasn't really shown up and done anything, but there's a lot of people talking about how it's pretty good with like Manta and playing. I think it's a specialist deck that if one of these people did well with it at a calling, I wouldn't be surprised.
You also just like skill check Gravies by presenting the capability of just infinitely endless arrowing them, right? And like blocking efficiently.
You also like get a bunch of people to them just like not understanding what they're supposed to play around. Like I just don't know what the cards in your deck do.
True. I think Dory is also specialist. I think this deck is probably a little weaker than it was before this mastery set came out because of like if Victor actually upticks in value. But like the Dawnblade deck is a real deck into a lot of the decks in the meta right now, depending on what's being played. It's just like pretty hard for decks right now to deal with.
It's the best it's ever been. Really just ignorant, right?
Yeah. With Victor, it goes down a little bit. I agree.
So I've seen there's like talk of running the switchboard, like you guys did back for Dromai, of like primarily Hatchet, but also having Dawnblade. Do you think that build would be better than just mono one or the other?
Possibly. I don't know what the size requirement would look like. Your Dawnblade side was real bad in order to run the switchboard, like because all you were doing was hitting dragons with it. And
it wasn't like a real Dawnblade deck.
No, in the current meta, the Dawnblade side is just infinitely better into some matchups than the Hatchet side. So you actually want a full power Dawnblade side, I think, more than you would want a Hatchet side.
I see.
and the cards just don't play well to each other. But they might be a little better with some of the new Warrior stuff that came out. That's just like front pump whatever. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and really try to tune something there. Maybe it's like not even play hatchets. Maybe it's just like play 2 sabers
Or
to
like
try
a
and get better overlap.
Yeah, you could play you could also do like a Decimator versus Dawnblade.
Yeah.
build if
You could
want.
try and do that if maybe Decimator works out to like
If that's
so
a
that you
better
can
way
actually
to
beat
attack,
Victor or something.
if that's a better way to attack the slow decks than something like hatchets, yeah.
I can see that. Okay. What about Vincent?
Don't play.
Yeah.
Were you not arguing
Even
super early
specialist.
that did not put her in don't play, or was that Cody?
It's not.
I think it was you and me. I think you mentioned
Yeah,
it can't be don't play.
She has invert existence against Gravy. Surely that's good, right?
You have a positive matchup into Syndra too, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
into Syndra. Look at the rest.
I don't know the spread for the rest.
It just feels like it's like a high variance deck with not a very good matchup spread, at least from what I can tell.
Slippy is good. By all metric standpoints, it is a good into Slippy. So that is
I really doubt. I doubt.
I think that one's kind of like a
I think that's
skill check on the Slippy. Like
Yeah,
Riptide kind of has that too of like Riptide probably by the data is good into Slippy, but if the opponent knows the game plan, it's not that good.
I think Riptide is like actually good into Slippy though, but I feel like Slippy is like fundamentally pretty good into Vincent. Like he has like.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the Slippy disruption is banishing, and Slippy doesn't have that many blues, so it's like you can't consistently have a blue every turn.
Going by Talishar data, Vincent is ahead in that matchup.
Yeah,
that's why I said by all data, it's just it should have a good Slippy matchup. It should have good enough matchups to be playable.
You can throw it in
I think it's a specialist, but it's a weak specialist. It's like a specialist minus because how I would put it.
Because
right,
I don't think Slippy's like
If we say specialist minus one more time, no, I'm talking over you. Let me get my thing first. If we say specialist minus one more time, we're invoking it on the next tier list. Okay. My very important one aside. Go ahead.
All right. Well, Katsu's up next, so I don't know what to tell you, man.
No,
wait. I don't think like Slippy is like Mario, where like the better you get with that deck, it gets infinitely harder to play against that deck. Like the skill ceiling and expression that you have with Slippy is lower than you would have with Mario. So I think most people that play Slippy is probably close enough to like your average Slippy player. It's just play your numbers. It's just you're just playing good fab, right? Yeah, there's some small things like maybe your arsenal manipulation and everything.
Is good data?
I'm just saying that the data is probably close enough to what the matchup should be, right?
But the thing is, when you play into decks like Vincent, you don't actually play fab. Like you're playing against Vincent. Like you're trying to find a way to win that sometimes involves not actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like maybe if you're not super experienced on just like playing into Vincent with different strategies, then you don't know that game plan. It's less about like I agree. If you know like if you're both just playing fab trading numbers, the Vincent probably has better numbers, better disruption. But like if
I don't know. It's so hard to like assume people don't know that I can't race Vincent after this long. Like Vincent's been out long enough that I feel like most people should just know that by now that I can't just race Vincent. Maybe you try it once with the deck because you're new to the deck and you need to see limit test. But like you play that matchup once and you realize, yeah, I got my shit kicked in because I tried racing.
Yeah, maybe they play the matchup 0 times. Their once is round 3 of the calling, and they're like, "Oh shit, I messed up."
Katsu,
don't play.
He's not figured this deck out yet.
He does some powerful stuff, but like,
is he? Please don't play.
Gravy. Like Katsu.
Yeah, you're right. He isn't. Please don't play.
No, he's not in. Please don't play.
No,
he's so degenerate to play against, depending on what deck you are.
Like
he's just Gravy.
Every time they do the bonds, you're like, all right, whatever. I block my whole hand. I take 10. I still have like 10 or so more life, and then your deck is just a wet noodle. That's assuming they draw the absolute nuts and get over like with the cheesy reacts.
I will get over.
I just think it's don't play. Like you're never getting 40'd through your whole hand if you block with like some amount of pulse. If you get Dishonored, sometimes you get Dishonored and it's sad, but
it's really hard to get Dishonored, man.
I don't know. I don't want to play against a Katsu. I don't want to win the matchup, but I don't want to play against it.
I try to be very reserved in my please don't plays of like, can they literally just win the game no matter what decisions I made? At least like you can make some blocking decisions in Katsu that have education. It's not just how good are my first 2 hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Next
it's also
up,
just like for this event, like just don't play Katsu for this event. Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah. But he's cool. Katsu's cool.
Where's Florian at now?
Dude, Florian is the
nowadays?
biggest sleeper, I feel.
He's like specialisto, I think.
How can you
Is there really
specialize in?
How can you specialize in
decompose?
Florian?
The more you play, the higher the root bounds come in your deck. It's just a joke.
Oh, that's why you always had decompose by turn 3 against me.
I'm a Florian specialist. It's just like I've played the deck once.
Congrats.
Congrats.
He's good into Slippy, but I feel like he just has so many auto losses. It's like it's quite doob, right?
Yeah, he's none
He's
of these
gonna be
tiers.
popular.
Like Gravy's just like a bad matchup. Wizard's a bad matchup. Like without Germinate, I don't know how the slow matchups play. I don't know if you're good into Victor.
Yeah, if you want to play a deck that targets Slippy, then Mario's probably going to be better.
Yeah, it's just like I don't think he's that unplayable, but just don't play Florian. Like, come on.
You're asking for a lot to go right.
Yeah,
And there's no such thing as a Florian specialist, I don't think.
yeah.
Well, I mean, LSS also told you
minus.
They told you can't specialize in one version. Like you're only allowed to play one version now, so you can't be a
true.
specialist in your one card ones.
It's specialist minus.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's do Lucas Verdance. Why should you not play Verdance?
She belongs in specialist. I think she is truthfully.
Special.
I think she's truthfully like ahead of Slippy barely. I think she's ahead of Syndra. I think she's just like a good example of a specialist deck. I think she's like Acilio, where your matchup spread is good. I think she is worse than Acilio right now because your Gravy matchup is much worse. I am still a believer that there are plans out there where you end up being like pretty good into a lot of the top decks, but I think she's just like
I will never be baited by you guys ever again. I was on the Verdance train. I believed all the Verdance players who said that they could beat Gravy, and then I looked at the data for every single tournament since they've been saying that, and they got like a 10% win rate into Gravy. They could all go to hell. I'm never going to do it again. You're all bad into Gravy.
How
it's
can
just
you
like it's like a deck where you have
specialist?
to have, it's like a deck. It's Verdance.
You specialize in losing. That's
My time
what.
to
That's what
speak.
you specialize in.
Yes, breathe, brother.
She's just a deck where like you have to have the right game plan, and everybody just like has the wrong game plans. Like she's just a hero where you can do a bunch of different stuff, and there's nobody who actually specializes in the deck. So,
but it doesn't pass the first check of the meta. Beat Gravy.
Yeah, whatever. We have like.
This is a specialist minus deck if
Riptide
I've ever seen one.
Like, no, she's surely better. I think.
Dude, Riptide. At least Riptide has beat Gravies.
Yeah, I beat.
I'm going to Singapore. It's so good in the Gravy. I can beat Gravy 10% win rate.
I beat Gravy at the Pro Tour. I was like 2 life away from beating Michael Hamilton at the Pro Tour as well.
Bro, it's FAB. What do you mean? That's like an ocean away.
No, but like he had a very good Gravy draw. Like it's absolutely possible. Like just because everybody else is trying to like fatigue them with no extra D-reacts and no.
You will never bait me again into believing.
Noah, an ocean away will not stop him from coping.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Speaking
of which, I have a great name for the specialist minus tier for next time. Okay. Specialist parentheses cope.
Yeah, the copium tier. Yeah,
the cope tier.
We just gotta get the frogs with the copium. You know, that'll be the new tier.
It's just never about what the masses are doing, man. You can't listen to the data too much.
The data was it was 0% in the Team Armory. You can't tell me all of them didn't have a plan that was good.
I trusted so hard before Singapore too. I was on the podcast like, no, I think these Verdances are S tier. I think they're really going to do it. And then they all just dropped the ball when they actually played the game.
Yeah, I was like super content with my plan.
Cody, that's your fault. Fool me once, Azalea, shame on me. Fool me twice, Verdance,
it wasn't,
shame on you.
To be fair, it wasn't just Lucas. It was every Verdance player I talked to was just like, yeah, I beat Gravy.
I also
we beat
you
Gravy.
Guys are glossing over
beat Gravy.
Like, I had a perfectly fine win rate into Gravy. Like the night before, I had some dubious testing that perhaps showed otherwise. But
I forgot about this. We were in the hotel room. Yeah, you don't know about this. We were in Charles' hotel room, and Lucas is just playing against Pat. And it's like he has a bar of happiness that's just dwindling and dwindling.
Well, we played 4 games and I went 1-3.
Agree, yeah.
That's like not that bad. Like,
No, but your mental was shot, man. Come on.
my mental was shot.
Yeah.
But like I played a bunch of games into like Austin. I played some games with people afterwards as well. Like it's fine. Like I don't think it's good, and I honestly do think it is like you have to have a very good plan. You have to be highly skilled. But like into everything else, I think you're pretty good. I just think it's clearly like a specialist.
I think it's a case where you the last Breakpoints podcast, Taylor mentioned this. I definitely do this where you have like ego games where like you play into a matchup and win, and it boosts your ego up, and you're like, oh, dude, I'm the king of the world. Like Burdens beats Gravy every time.
I played like 30 games before the event into Gravy, and like the win rate was like 60%. Like obviously, like some of those are going to be higher. Like obviously, some of them are going to like it's high, but I don't know. I just feel like
high. Yeah, you're smoking.
It can't be cope if you guys are using data and I'm also using internal data. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm using at the Pro Tour data. Like,
yeah, that's everybody else.
That's all that matters. Like they all showed up. They said I'm
just saying I think
I'm the player at this Pro Tour who's going to play Verdants, and they all lost.
To do well.
What do you mean that's everyone else? That was also you. You said you lost to Hamilton. You're a part of the statistic.
I went 1-1.
You're a statistic.
I don't know. I feel like it's. I just feel like it's where it's supposed to be. It's fine. Whatever. I don't want.
So Lucas, since Verdants is so good, are you going to play it at Kansas City?
It's on the list. I'm considering Victor, dude. Anything's on the table.
Okay. Kasai.
I'd rather play Verdants than any other deck in
specialist here.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's
Dan doesn't like that you said that, but yeah.
No, that's just because I'm not a specialist.
I see.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about the Kasai. I think Kasai is actually pretty decent. I think if you're good with Kasai, you know all the matchups, you know all the edges that you can get with the deck. I think it's pretty good into most things in the meta. It's behind in Slippy data-wise, but that matchup sucks to play as Slippy. Like you're not enjoying your life when you're playing against Kasai as Slippy. It always feels like you're losing until you just like accidentally win.
Yeah. Yeah, Kasai seems like excited about playing because it's like you kind of want your cards to line up in the order of, all right, let me get all my copper and gold early and then I'll draw all my payoffs later, which is like doesn't happen every game. But yeah, when it works out, it works out.
Yep. Agreed. Okay. How about Prism? Where is Prism?
Prism's also in Kano tier, I feel.
I think she's between Please Don't Play and Specialist.
She's Please Don't Play for sure.
Definitely cringe to play against. She definitely hits all the notes of Please Don't Play.
Yeah,
I also feel like Please Don't Play as well.
Yeah.
I don't think this is like a particularly good meta for her either.
No, not at all. It's the same as Kano. Like, it's not actually that good of a meta. Like we're saying the deck that wins the event is AB3 Spell Void 3 that can present lethal on turn 3. That's not good. But people will still play Kano. Like Prism, I think you have the uptick in Victor. You have like everybody respects Prism now. It's not like Prism's a slept on deck. I don't know if you have data on this, Cody, but I would assume most decks have poppers, most of them have the 7 variety. So even the decks that don't naturally have good stuff into Prism, she has to contend with a lot of Flick Knives, right? Flick Knives is just like, it's not game winning, but it's really annoying to deal with if it's Flick Knives plus a lot of pressure. So
only data I have is I know the Gravies are playing like 7 to 8 poppers.
Yeah. Yeah, these are poppers, and like if you're just sending Heralds at Rigor Mortis, it's like, whatever. The Gravy already got their value. You start at 32.
And then the popper just goes face instead.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a Conk or a Blanche or something.
Okay. Dio, which just won in Auckland, had a pretty good run.
It's like a Please Don't Play deck, but it might be upgraded to a real hero.
I think it's literally...
I still think
it's literally all 5 of the top tiers. I think it's like Specialist, Please Don't Play, could top 8, will top 8, and will win the event. I think it's like the whole spectrum.
It's like the epitome of a Please Don't Play. It's like top of Please Don't Play. But it's like...
It's above Prism, below Kano, I think.
No way.
I don't agree with that. I think it's not enough. I don't actually think it's that tier. I think it's just like actually a good deck right now.
I think it's a good deck, yeah. I think you have a good Gravy matchup. You have a comfy Gravy matchup. Like you can lose, but I think it's one of the decks in the game that just like clearly has one of the cleaner Gravy matchups.
It's also like game into like everything right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like you want an aggro deck that like beats Gravy and beats Syndra. Like, okay, cool, play Dio.
Yeah. It's also just farming a bunch of the decks that are trying to hate on Gravy. Like it's just not only is it one of the decks that can farm gravy, but it also farms the decks farming gravy, which is like a pretty good spot to be in right now because it out aggroes every aggro deck. It is DO after all. So I agree with that. I think if it does not want to see Victor rise up, that's for sure. And the Slippy matchup is dubious, but it can win that matchup. It's not as bad as New or any of the other assassins used to be, but it is still pretty dubious, I think.
Yeah, the Victor matchup, especially with all of the new cards, just seems completely.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I'm going to move this around a little bit personally.
Cool. And then can we please put Fang in Please Don't Play tier?
Absolutely not. This is one of the things great right now.
No, but it's Please Don't Play. Like they're like, I won the die roll. Let me shuffle my hand. Pledge fealty. Respond. Pledge fealty. Respond. Pledge fealty. Shake my hand.
Yeah, why don't you guys go ask Peter Budensic about triple pledge fealty?
Yeah, this is a real story. This is not made up. Unless he made it up. He could have. No one saw him.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. He keeps doing well at events. Like every calling he top 8s, it feels like.
He's also just one of the only decks in the game favored into both Slippy and Gravy.
Yeah.
Data-wise says that he's favored into both of them.
I think he probably belongs in good top 8 tier.
I think it's like one of the... It's really weird how they did this. I don't know like if they did this intentionally, thinking about Gravy in the future, or if LSS just, I don't know, was lazy on templating. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They did it on purpose. But all the Syndra cards that make fealty, if they're second chain link, only work when they're attacking a hero. But all of Fangs just work if it's a second or higher draconic chain link. So I think it's like a pretty nice like way to clear allies while still getting like your engine going of making the fealty.
Yeah, you also just get to main deck Arachne hate cards, which is like such a big deal. Like Hunt of the Anzarite is kind of like
it's so much
like
better.
A completely unreasonable card.
Too.
Yeah, you get to play all of the Arachne hate. It's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think we should have named this just Gravy tier. Apparently, it's just the Gravy tier. Gravy has his own tier. It's not win the tournament tier, but it's his own tier called Gravy tier.
Yeah. Someday we'll get perfect tier names. We're not at that level.
Should we just consolidate the top two? Because like I could see either of them win the event.
Yeah, that is true. Hamilton can win the event.
Wait, so we go full circle just back to our original tier list.
But like, let's be real. Like we got Hamilton, Brody, and Fang all going to this event, and like they're probably 3 of the best Gravy players in the world right now. Like they're up there. And if we're saying like Gravy's like probably S tier in the hands of like the best players in the game, and those best players are going to this event, it's pretty reasonable that one of them is going to win the event.
It's very realistic. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. For KC, I agree. Other than that, I think this looks good. Anything else? Any comments? Nope.
I think we should make one more tier below F tier and put another Bravo in it.
Wait.
Okay, let's get to some podcast questions. These are asked by premium members of our Metafy. If you'd like to be able to ask questions on the podcast, get deck lists for 3 of the top decks with sideboards every single month, find people to practice with, and a bunch of other really cool things, as well as discounts from Gilded Raven Games, feel free to join in the link below. First question here from Wardo77. How do you interpret calling Auckland results with respect to KC prep? I watched Hayden Dale torment a Gravy with Blanche and take the win. Is Gravy going to get checked by players adjusting to the dominance and no ban will be necessary?
I mean, that game felt like the Gravy not adjusting to how the Slippy matchup plays. Like I talked about that at pretty in length during my stream of watching those games. Just the guy brought in just massive anti-fatigue package, and the game just was never about that. He just got punched in the mouth and never got to play the game. And he just looked like a fool holding all these anti-fatigue cards. You need to get the Slippy in the box before those cards matter. So like the Blanche looked incredible because he just never got online.
Yeah, I think you mentioned, Fina, that the best way you want to build a Gravy deck now is to have a way of beating fatigue without like putting in all these cards that are anti-fatigue cards, just like manipulating the cards you do have, the normal cards. So I would say, yeah, if you want to prep for KC, figure out how to like play a normal deck that hedges for both ways the Arachne wants to play the game. And then, yeah, just in response to their style, just do whatever's best.
With that said, I think the Gravy deck that I'm thinking about bringing, it's in my pool of the 2, does that. It's just really difficult, you know? And then you get those games where you don't make gold for 6 rounds and you're like, what am I doing with my life? So
unlucky.
In the case
Yeah.
of that game and the couple others that like happened on stream, it was like bringing in sea legs, humperdinck, prismatic, scuba, mage master boots, royal hat, probably some other stuff. It's just way too many things for that side of that strategy. You don't need all of that. Like you can rein that in a little bit, like maybe just prismatic, maybe like one humperdinck in case you think that you're soft to fatigue, but like you don't need all of that.
No, agreed. I do think though, the second point here, I think there'll be a lot of hate for Gravy, and I think if you are playing Gravy, you might just end up in the bad variance game of like you run into the people who are like, I am so teched for Gravy, let's play the game, and you're just like running into it all day. I think it's very possible that we will have Gravy stories from people who are playing Gravy that just ran into it, and that is a fear of bringing the most known, should be most targeted deck. But it's powerful enough that people have to do that, like, or feel they have to do that at least to play the game. So that's the trade-off in my mind. But I do think people are going to be hard teching for the deck. Okay, Millen asks, what is the worst card in your opinion, and is there a chance for it to see competitive play? I know Noah is fired up for this one.
No, I'm actually right now scrambling because I remember he asked this question. I was like, oh, I'm gonna look into this. And then
well, you put a little fire emoji. You said that's a fire question.
It was a fire question.
I was like, oh, so he's gonna have something then, and then he doesn't have something.
I'm dropping the ball. I thought this was a fire question, and then I just didn't think of a real response. Maybe one of y'all can come up with something on the fly while I
mean, there's just like a million cards that are like stone cold unplayable because of the fact that like cards can come in any pitch color. Like there's
I think it's more about like a unique card that is bad that could be good is probably the angle you want to take it. Not just like generic bad card. There's like a million generic bad cards, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of really cool like bad cards that could be broken. Like I always think of like Feign Death out of Ranger as a card that is like has like an instant ceiling in theory.
I think of stuff like Blood Tribute. The other one that's just like cost one, deal a damage, banish one. Like these cards are interesting and they suck, but they're still kind of good. Mm-hmm. Like, so there could be worlds where they become playable. I think of cards like that.
Mm-hmm. I like Glisten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Glisten's cool.
I'll play once.
Effect.
Yeah. Well, but it's another example. Like it's a completely terrible card, but like, they do stuff.
What's that light card from Dusk Till Dawn? That's an aura that you like banish cards from your soul.
Nova? No, different card. You're thinking the aura that blocks like one card or one damage by banishing a card from your soul.
It's just the worst card of all time.
I think that card's actually pretty reasonable against Flicker.
No, it's not that card. It's some other card. We're professionals, I promise. Keep talking about something.
While you guys are thinking
Radiant
about
Force Field.
Okay.
Yeah, that card's good against Flick Knives, right?
That card's like objectively broken, right? Like if you just like look at it in a vacuum of what the card does.
For the people, like everyone who doesn't know what it does.
If it's a 0 cost yellow aura that is a light instant, if your hero would be dealt damage, banish one card in your hero's soul to prevent one of that damage. When there are no cards in your hero's soul, destroy this. Like in a vacuum, this card's broken, right? But it just like doesn't actually play in anything.
If you could get enough soul, like if they made a new light hero that just made infinite soul but didn't do a lot with it, this card would be absolutely broken.
Yeah.
Like imagine we got like a light cleric, and every time their things healed them, that card went to soul. You're just like spinning infinite wheels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I think that's a really good pick for this type of question where it's terrible, but it has real potential to be great.
Mm-hmm.
My first pick before that was going to be Scabskins.
There's some of like the amulets that are very bad that it would be hard to ever play those kind of cards. Blood Tribute is a really good call out, Cody. That's like a card that people locally have talked about playing that I think. Oh, wait. I think I have one. It's the card from the new set, Clapham and Irons.
Oh.
The action that just like taps a target pirate, hero, or ally. Like, yeah, you could play the card, but it's just a meme when Gravy's the only real pirate and you're playing a card to tap him and he can just respond. and you're playing this like no
I think
block card in your deck.
tit for tat in a similar vein. That's the new blue, or that's the high seas blue that just says you tap their hero and untap your hero. Is like in the future where we get heroes with like really relevant tap effects is actually like potentially kind of broken. Like if the meta is all heroes that tap for like a card worth of value, like that's actually kind of unreasonable.
I mean, that literally could see playing gravy.
No, I would say that card's like good.
Yeah.
Tweedle asks, unless already discussed, is someone on the team even excited for the Guardian style Fair Fab? Or is the new set just a supplier of unfun gravy cards?
Yuanji is excited.
There's a problem. When they introduce a new set, then they don't do anything about the cards that already existed. It's not like we have a new Guardian format. We still have the same format, but there's just like a couple more cards, and people can, if that's what floats their boat, they can play these cards, but it's not actually like a new Guardian Fab format.
Yeah.
Unless you're literally talking about crack shuffle play, which is, from what I've heard, is interesting.
I also just don't think Guardian's fair with the new set. Like, they have unfair cards now.
Yeah. Yeah, the test of discard a card is just like not coolio.
And it's like not even Guardian style either, where it's like a variance based card that just sometimes you pummel yourself, sometimes you pummel them. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Every time I've been playing against Victor as Slippy, I'm just like trying to count them, and then the later the game goes and the less of them they've seen, I'm just like, oh no, I'm so screwed. They're gonna draw 2 in one hand, and I'm gonna lose my whole hand. And that's eventually what happens. You're like, head jab, and they're like, discard your hand. Okay, thanks. I'll just skip my turn, I guess. Carnivore asks, should Gravy and Slippy have cards banned, or should other heroes get stronger, better cards to bring them to the same level? What is the ideal power level for a format?
I think we're just in a good format. I don't think we need any.
You would think I'd be someone who's prepared, and I said my statement about the last question because I knew this was the next question coming up, but I didn't read this at all.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I have more. That was just the preamble.
Okay.
I think heroes should get strong cards and cards should get banned. I think the power level that we're at now is kind of fine. There's a couple of those decks that we put earlier in like the cringe please don't play tier, but for the most part decks are like they do kind of similar stuff in each game. It's not like there's crazy power spikes and that average power level is like at a fine level. So I think if they replicate this format moving forward, it's pretty good. But banning cards and giving other heroes stronger cards just keeps the game interesting, makes it like fun to brew new heroes. So I think they should like leverage that more than just, okay, here's a ban list. There were no changes. Just like, I don't know. It's so funny to me. Like every time that happens, that's like a mechanic of the game where they have a ban list, but actually, no, we don't have a ban list. Like there's just no changes.
I think there's a couple of like problem cards. I'm not thinking like, I think the power level is fine. Mm-hmm. I think Mantle is overly disgusting and shouldn't exist in the game. I think that card is impossible to play around, impossible a lot of cases to know when it's going to happen because of flick and everything. You don't have any protection really against it. So they're just like head jab with cards behind can just be every card in the graveyard and can be infinite numbers of like amount of damage. It's just, there is no counterplay to this. It's like, did you draw a nutty hand or not? And at some point in the game, they're gonna play it. I just don't think that card is healthy. I don't think Mantle is a healthy card for the game, and I think
there's not enough clean count. The fact that the way that you counter Mantle is by countering the flick knives, just like makes it so like the actual ways to deal with it are just like so small.
Yeah, and there's basically no ways to deal with it. And the thing is,
draw shelter that turn, like
draw shelter, raw dog, have calming breeze set, and at the end of the day, it's just an on rate card. Like often I'll just attack with an infect. Okay, they shelter stopped my flick. Okay, I'll give +2 and you still get a blood rot. Like I still just got 3 out of my card. I think that's the biggest problem with it is that it's a yellow that plays like a red plus. It's just classic assassin majestic stuff where they just like make those cards way too absurd.
And there'll be random turns where they just swing a dagger and like, you can't block this. This is not a real blocking. This isn't real in a lot of cases. Because that's usually your opportunity to actually try to get ahead in the matchup is like when they have those off turns. So you'll just like get marked. And then because they have on hits on their abilities, you kind of don't want them to hit you. So them clearing the mark's pretty hard. So quite often I don't need the flick. I'll just have my opponent will just be marked. and I'll just be like, well, I'm going to draw Mantle eventually, and they're just going to get blown out. Like, there is nothing they can do about this. I'm just going to Mantle them. And it's just so unhealthy as a card to exist in the game. And I think Chum is also another one of these cards. We talked about this before. I think Chum's rather unhealthy, and I want it to go away so that Gravy can play the game differently, and like without having this like linchpin of like stop your opponent from being able to do anything. And it feels like Gravy might get punished for Chum existing as a mechanic in the game, and I would be fine with this just Arclight Chum type effects go away, and then like just build the deck to play a little bit differently with like a different style than that. And that's what I mean by ban. I don't think these really need to be brought down. Maybe the Mantle does, but I just think they're unhealthy. Scabs is also unhealthy. I'll steal it from you.
I actually had something else to say. So I've actually had like a number of people ask me this question on stream recently, so I have some like thoughts on this. I think the biggest part of like, do you need there to be bans is, one is the meta healthy, which is like really subjective, because people will say the meta's healthy or unhealthy based on the variety of decks, and it's like not necessarily a good metric. I think it's really just how good are the games, and I think the games are pretty good right now. I think we're like in a spot like you feel like you're playing Flesh and Blood. You feel like you're making good decisions during your games that are meaningful. It doesn't feel like it's super random and just like that you just like scab skin situations. Like the amount of please don't play this type of decks that are actually in the meta is actually pretty low.
Yeah.
And to your point earlier about that, Noah, of these please don't play decks, it's not like bans like do anything about that. Like these decks are just designed to be that. So we just need them to be removed from the game completely at some point, like them being LL'd and not replaced with something else cringe. But you get rid of all the tomes, well, these decks are still cringe. Like it's just how those decks play. But most of the game right now isn't that. I think, like, again, the games are really good. I think there's some problem cards, and you guys have already kind of touched on it, so I don't need to repeat that. And I have some philosophy issues of how they're doing card design right now, but that's like really not something that like just straight up bans would address. That's just like how they're kind of doing overall card design and some stuff. I still like it more than what they did during Bright Lights and Outsiders era, where it was just like boring and it didn't feel like it was very interesting games. It felt like I remember Cody talking about this all the time. You got +3 on your opponent, the game's instantly over. It's just going to take 7 more turns. Like that wasn't very interesting. Flesh and Blood. I feel like we're in a good spot for that. The games feel interesting and good to play.
The games are fun. I think the meta's great. Like I don't actually have a meta complaint currently. I think the game's really good.
There's always going to be a top deck. Like that's the big, like people always complain like no matter what, people are always going to complain. Is there actually a problem though? There's always going to be something at the top. So what do you want? Every deck to be exactly 50-50 into every deck? Like that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think there's like we identified a few problem cards that would not really change the tier list ordering. It would just make some of the high rolls not as high, make more games actually be games instead of just there's not really a way to play around this thing. My hand literally can't do 6 damage on offense right now, or like you have the -1 card to protect Chum, and I'm owned.
Well, like the philosophy thing that I have a problem with, Assassin's like a big one of them. It feels like Assassin doesn't really have an identity right now. It feels like it does everything that Warrior, Ninja, and Guardian do, just better. Guardian's all about like I'm gonna block and play towards on hit fatigue
brought out
game.
a whole episode topic in the middle of the podcast question.
right. Like I have these on hits that mildly disrupt you. Meanwhile, Assassin, like I deal 1 damage to you, I take your whole hand, deal 17 damage to you, take $10 out of your wallet, drop you from the event. It's like what is this Assassin balance when it comes to on hits compared to Guardian?
Well,
like
the
Crush is
Assassin
such
balance,
a meme.
The Assassin balance is that sometimes you look at your hand and it's 2 D-reacts and 2 pumps, and you're like, my hand is literally a 4-card 2. Whereas at least Guardian can like do something. Like
you also
it's all blues.
You also don't have like 14 block on your equipment.
They could swing 8 with a Thunderquake, bro. That's power. I'm swinging 4-card 2. They're at least doing like 3-card 8 with all the blues, right?
It also does what Warrior does better. Warrior's supposed to be the class of like tricky reactions and
no, but
maybe
I was just describing
wrong.
like why it's worse. You described all the reasons why it's better. I'm saying why it's worse is like the pitfall of the deck is you can draw hands that just like are completely not functional because your cards like require at least some amount of synergy.
Sure,
Not
sure.
huge, but this is what LSS is like. At least
It's a risk reward,
yeah.
but the reward is
Oh,
significantly
it's
higher
super
than the risk.
unbalanced. Like
Yes.
the risk is like what happens way less often than the reward. But that's also because because of how Slippy plays, where you can draw a hand of multiple attacks and it still works because you have the go again.
Mm-hmm. And then you got the reaction side. It's supposed to be this tricky, like Warrior's supposed to be this tricky class that it's hard to like actually properly block against. That's just not the case. Like Twinning Blade is really the only like I guessed wrong kind of card. That's all Assassin is. And then you go like you said with Slippy, you're just also this go wide aggro deck. You're just doing everything those three classes do, but better. So like it just feels like the identity kind of got lost with Assassin.
The last time there was a class that did all of the things, they nerfed all of the things for Chain. It literally said in the article, you can't have all of these tools. Take away all the tools. Assassin, meanwhile, has all the tools. He's just sitting over here with all of them. That's why
You'll get 3 more Majestics next set too.
Yeah, true. Just get rid of Mantle. Everything else is fine. Just Mantle is just not fine. It's just not fine to have.
Yeah, maybe they'll make it another legendary assassin hat that everybody loves. Now that Mask is out of the format, we got to have another hat.
Ham asks, I'm assuming being a competitive player requires a large collection to be added flexibility of changing heroes or classes depending on the meta. What does your collection look like? Do you buy the whole set? Only buy what you think is meta relevant or specific classes, or do you borrow from the team? Follow up is, how do you store your collection?
This person has a well-oiled question mark sign on their keyboard. They're really putting in that work. I'm curious to hear what y'all do, but I just own all the cards. I recently, with High Seas, I'm planning on doing this for like basically every set now, but for High Seas at least, I just got the whole set on pre-order from Hemel. But before that, I would just kind of like get all the cards based off of like what I open, and then kind of in the month or so after that, if I wasn't planning on playing the deck right away, I would just pick up the stragglers from like people at locals, or just if I was really feeling like a deck or a card was undervalued, I would just scoop them up on TCG Player. But yeah, for the most part, I like having all the cards just so that way I don't have to have the added stress before an event of how do I acquire these cards. But that's obviously a luxury.
Yeah, I'm similar. I like to try and own all the cards. Right now, it's not really all of them. It's like most of anything I would need to build real decks that I care about, I own. And then occasionally I'll be like, I don't have this, and then I'll just like ask a local so I can buy some of it from them. So I'm acquiring all of it. But I agree. I like to just try and own everything, but that's not most people.
I'm literally in the middle of organizing my collection right now. I try to just own all the cards for the classes that I play, and then I just have it class sorted or talent sorted, so that way when I go to an event, I can just like grab the pile that is relevant to that class, and that's my maybe board, and I'll just have that in my bag so I don't have to scramble for cards when I go to an event if something changes.
Yeah,
Lucas doesn't own cards.
Dude,
Lucas owns no cards. He has like 2 decks.
That's not. I like own 2 or 3 decks at a time. Sometimes I own like 8 decks at a time. Sometimes I own no decks at a time. I figure out some way to acquire the cards before an event most of the time.
But you also like sell cards because that's how you go from 8 to 0 decks.
That's true. I just
never sell cards.
I do have a TCG Player shop. So.
Yeah, because like, what if I want to play them again and then I have to go through the effort of buying them, and I'm like, I already bought it once. Why do I need to do that again?
Just borrow. But yeah, that is.
I mean, we have people on the team who just borrow entire decks for tournaments, so it's just like.
Yeah, I literally put a message in the team general like 2 hours ago, and I said, "Can anybody lend me a whole deck for KC?"
Yeah, like
to be fair,
I will be borrowing a whole deck for KC.
Go ahead, Tina.
Yeah, like one of our locals, Julian, he just has every card. So like, what was it? The ProQuest season that Enigma LL'd, I just literally played like a different deck every week, and I just borrowed the entire deck from him every week.
I think it's a good thing that people borrow decks because it introduces like double good karma of like the person playing the deck gets all the beginner's luck of like, ooh, I don't own these cards. This is my first time playing with them in person. I have like the plus 100 luck rating. And then also the person gets the good karma of like, I just lent this person $800 deck. And now like surely things will go well, go good for me. So lending out decks and borrowing cards is plus EV, as Lucas would say.
I think it's just whatever you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
like however you want to engage with it. I like physically building. Well, I hate building my deck, but I like building my deck at the same time.
Oh, I love it,
like,
dude.
physically.
My desk is just filled
love
with
it.
cards. I just love like looking at cards, like thinking about
Me too.
stuff.
Yeah.
I also
That's
like,
honestly the realest thing I've maybe ever heard.
yeah. Bro, every tournament I have like a deck box I bring of like the cards I could play. It's like Erase Face, Weakest Link, Humble, and then it starts getting pretty bad after that. I get down to like Last Ditch Effort,
Is that all
Remembrance.
you got's in there?
Yeah, Pursuit of Knowledge. Just like you
Yeah.
never know, man.
It's literally your 800 card maybe board on every deck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you ever see my list on FAB, yeah, I just like bring a lot of those. Some, I guess I should shave some cards from the maybe board that are cards that aren't good enough to be brought in real life. It's not a real maybe. But
I mean, what you should actually do is just go make a deck list that's just your maybe board, and then make a copy of that every time you make a deck.
But it's not the same for every deck.
True.
Yeah, it's not all generics. Like some of them are class cards that I might play.
Gultic X asks, I have an LL skirmish coming up and don't know what to play after the hit to Viserai. I am in between Icelander and Briar, but I don't have access to Serenade or Skizzix. What should I do? I've never played either.
Figure out a way to get Serenades and Skizzix.
Yeah.
Borrow
Just go buy an armory
Serenades
deck.
and Skizzix.
Yeah, figure it out.
Or just buy an armory deck. Like you probably have stores near you that have it and can't sell it.
Yeah.
But also, if you've never played Icelander, you should play Icelander. If you own all those cards, it's fun to play. So
Briar is better.
But it's a skirmish. Skirmish is just like for whatever.
Agree. But if you, they just asked, which should I play?
Yeah.
Briar
If you're
is the
trying to
better
win, I would play Briar and find Serenade and Skizzix.
Yeah, like when someone asks, what should I play? I assume they're asking for our opinion of what's going to do better, right? If they just cared about what's more fun, they would not be asking us because we have no say on what
Are
they
you
think
not the
is
master
fun, right?
of fun? I thought you were the fun guy.
Oh yeah, I would say play whatever you have fun with. But
Great shroom analogy.
why would he ask that?
Okay. King of Mice asks, no matter what hero I try, I can't seem to consistently beat CYB new in LL. Seeing as CYB new will probably be popular deck in LL, do you have any tips for beating it? I don't understand how this deck is doing stuff in LL.
It's
personally.
because disruption scales on defense. So when everybody's cards scale on offense, disruption is better.
Can be.
Figured
It's
it
just
out.
like but the turns can blow so fast that like you're just back into that meta where it's just like I just need one turn to like kind of blow you out a little bit.
Yeah, but she's pretty good at keeping people off of that, and people are really, really fragile in LL right now with how their decks are being built. I think as the format continues, we'll kind of see the decks get more and more resilient to disruption. But currently, everybody's just trying to do like the most broken thing they can do. I would say probably like early impressions. I don't know how the Ira deck plays into it with all the graveyard banishing stuff, but I would think that like those kind of mid-rangey, like Briar, Ira, I would say Viserai, but obviously he just got a big hit. Kind of these like mid-rangey aggro decks are the decks that I would think would be the best. Like Lexi, maybe.
I don't even think Briar would be that good into new now because if you think about most like the Briar decks that I've seen at least are trying to like abuse NIMBY stuff, which means they're playing like a bunch of these non-attacks, trying to play like a big like if you're playing 2 non-attacks in a hand, that means you're keeping a lot of cards to be able to do something, right?
Yeah, the more robust Briar decks would be the ones that I would expect to be good into.
But new also has the disruption with the mask that is kind of like no other deck where you can't just fridge it, right? The Runeblade or the Ninja can't just like fridge the disruption.
The things that CYB new is going to be weak to is going to be like presenting multiple on hits in a turn and being able to deal with disruption the best. So look for decks that can stop or that can present on hits multiple times a turn and can deal with disruption. So I would be thinking like Lexi would be something that I would be initially quite excited for. New also,
I think Lexi looks really good right now.
Yeah, I think Lexi could be good. I also still think Starvo is potentially strong. I don't know how the matchup is into new, but I can imagine it being fine. But I don't really know.
Worst case, pull a old reliable. Just you beat all the stupid. I'm gonna not play the game decks, right?
Yeah, you can play an Illusionist. Yeah, I think Dromai similarly would also be pretty good into CYB new.
Yeah, how is CYB new beating Dromai? That seems quite dubious.
Yeah,
Dromai's actually pretty decent as well.
Mhm.
So
You can play Gravy.
Maybe even Gravy. Like,
Yeah. I think Gravy's good with cash in and belittle.
Yeah.
You can search yellow minnowism and discard it to tip.
Oh my god, here we go. We already talked about this.
I need to spend some more time with it because like I just can't imagine the deck that like wasn't the best in wasn't the best in the normal game.
Well,
at
no,
the
but
time
it's belittle.
is like
there is real stuff that
sure.
Like there are like cash in is crazy.
No, I'm thinking about CYB new.
CYB
CYB, it was never the best deck in the game, and how is it like
it's
dominating in LL?
It's because its strengths are just that it disrupts people. And when it was legal, we were like in a format where people were like playing around new existing and playing around a disruptive format. But in LL, it's just like all of these decks that like can't function through a surgical extraction.
Yeah, all LL decks right now, at least my view of it, is they're just like people who goldfish at home and they're like, oh, there's a tournament. All right, I'll play my deck. It's not like actual tournament ready tested decks into like disruption in the meta.
Exactly.
We'll get there. We'll figure it out.
When we have to for Worlds, we'll get there. But as of now, there's just no point.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, that's everything. I think we should get out of here. It was I don't know how long it's going to be. I'll edit it and figure it out.
Adios.
Goodbye.